Hi, hello, dear students. Welcome to my class. Next class on the third law of thermodynamics. The third law of thermodynamics. As you all know, in the last class we discussed about entropy and its changes in system and its changes in surroundings. Okay, even this third law of thermodynamics is also talking about entropy only. Okay, in this third law we can say there is a connection with entropy values actually. So here the third law is also telling about the entropy value of substances. So far we have related entropy to the number of possible arrangements of molecules or atoms called microstates, and the greater the number of microstates of a system means disorder indicates larger entropy of the system. So when the entropy is increased, that time we are saying the disturbance in the system is, disorder in the system is more. In the case of some solids, like particularly perfect crystalline substances, perfect crystalline substances. Talking about such perfect crystalline substances, the meaning of perfect crystalline substance is the arrangement of the particles in such kind of perfect crystalline solids is a perfect arrangement. That means very close arrangement, systematic arrangement. The gap between the particles is very less in that case. So it is difficult for anybody to separate the particles in normal conditions. Okay, such type of perfect crystalline substances we are taking in the discussion, illustration of third law. Okay, if they present at absolute zero temperature, if they present at absolute zero temperature means 0 Kelvin, okay, if you take such type of condition, that means we have considered one perfect crystalline substance which is kept at absolute zero temperature for the study of entropy of that substance in this third law of thermodynamics. We can also talk about absolute entropy in this juncture. Under these conditions, what will happen? Molecular motions are kept at a very minimum number, means number of microstates according to our previous discussions is very less, means number of the particles arrangements very less. So there is only one way to arrange the atoms or molecules to form a perfect crystal is the indication we will get when we consider this type of perfect crystalline solid substance at absolute 0 Kelvin temperature. We know that one of the important equation, mathematical relation, entropy is equals to Boltzmann constant K into ln W is a entropy expression we have discussed. In that, if this number of microstates became 1 means, if you put this one value here, then this will become k into ln 1. Ln 1, k into ln 1. Its value will become 0 in that case. Okay. So that means to understand the third law of thermodynamics, this is the consideration, this is the most important discussion we have made. And this discussion is saying that perfectly crystalline solid are said to be having very minimum number of microstates. Only one way of arranging the atoms or molecules to form a perfect crystal is the experimental result taken. So it indicates that entropy became 0 at absolute 0 Kelvin. So we talk about absolute entropy in these cases also, right? Okay, we will talk about such things. Now from this we can define what is third law of thermodynamics. According to third law of thermodynamics, what is the meaning of the value of entropy at absolute 0 Kelvin? 0. That means the entropy of a perfect crystalline substance, the entropy of a perfect crystalline substance at absolute 0 temperature is 0. That means the entropy of a perfect crystalline substance is 0 at the absolute 0 temperature. That is the meaning of it. So this statement is most important. Once again I will write the statement. The entropy of a perfect crystalline substance, a perfect crystalline substance is 0. The value is, this value is 0. When it is 0, it is 0 at the absolute 0 temperature. At the absolute 0 temperature. Once again, see the statement properly. That is, the entropy of a perfect crystalline substance is 0 at the absolute 0 temperature. This is the statement of third law of thermodynamics. From this we can easily understand, when we increase the temperature, what will happen? The freedom of the particles or motion increases, freedom of the motion increases and number of microstates increases. So entropy also increases. Thus entropy of any substance at a temperature above 0 Kelvin is greater than 0. It's very simple. When the temperature is not 0 Kelvin, more than that, entropy is also more than that, more than 0 value. And some of the crystalline substances, according to solid state, we call they are having some impurity. The crystal is having impurity, or we can say the crystal is having some imperfection or a defect. In such cases, what will happen? Entropy is greater than 0 even at 0 Kelvin. So most important point, that is impure or imperfect or defect in a perfect, in a pure crystal. The crystal we are saying in a crystal, we are saying if you consider this type of solid crystal, I can say solid crystal is there. If you take this one at 0 Kelvin, its entropy value is not equal to 0. Do remember, its entropy value is greater than 0. Most important point under study. So what is study? The study is telling that crystal is impure or it is having some defect. Then entropy is greater than 0, even the temperature is 0 Kelvin. Because the perfectly ordered crystal is called as perfect crystalline substance. Okay, if it is not perfectly ordered, what will happen? Number of microstates would be greater than 1. So arrangements, this W value will become more than 1 in that case. In this case, when the W value is not 1, entropy value definitely greater than is not equals to 0, means it will be greater than 0. That is the point also under important study of third law of thermodynamics. What is the most important point of third law? It will gives us an idea about finding the absolute entropies of the substances. What is that point? It is telling absolute entropy of the substances. And starting with the knowledge, you know that entropy of pure substance is how much? 0 at 0 Kelvin temperature. And we can measure the increase in the entropy of the substance when we increase the temperature. Now, at standard states, what is our temperature value? That is 298 Kelvin. Okay. So, from 0 Kelvin to 298 Kelvin, if you change the temperature for the study of entropy value at standard state, and its value definitely will be different. So, this is initial entropy, this is final entropy. So, what is the change in the entropy? Change in entropy is final entropy minus initial entropy. But from the third law thermodynamics, initial value of entropy is how much? 0. So, this value is 0. So, then it will become equals to SF. So, delta S is equals to SF. Here what is SI? SI is the entropy at 0 Kelvin and SF is the entropy at 298 Kelvin. Okay. And that entropy at 298 Kelvin now we can call as absolute entropy. Absolute entropy, because this is a true value which is not a value derived using some arbitrary reference or in a case of standard enthalpy of formation. So, entropy values quoted or shown in the tabular form we have discussed in the last class also, or absolute entropies, means the value of the elements or compounds entropy we have tabulated at 298 Kelvin. That is why we are calling they are absolute entropies, because what happens, measurements are carried out at 1 atmosphere pressure and temperature 298 Kelvin. Usually this is our reference. In context, what happens, we cannot have absolute energy or enthalpy substances of substances, because zero energy or enthalpy we cannot define in the case of enthalpies. But in the case of entropies, we can define what is the entropy value at 0 Kelvin. Okay, I hope you got this information, that what is the value of entropy at 0 Kelvin? 0. But what is the value of enthalpy at 0 Kelvin? We cannot define. So, in such cases of enthalpy, cannot be defined, but here the entropy can be defined at 0 Kelvin. So absolute entropy is little different from absolute enthalpy ideas of formation of enthalpy ideas. Okay. Now talk about absolute zero. Again we will talk about absolute zero. It has a zero entropy value. Which has a zero entropy value? Perfect crystalline solid. Perfect crystalline substance is having 0. As it is heated, what will happen? Its entropy increases gradually because greater molecular motion takes place. And solids, if you take, when you heat solid, what will happen? It will start melting. In the first it will start melting. And there is a gradual increase in the entropy we will observe from solid to liquid case in the case of heating process. Okay. After that we will get a state that is called as liquid state. Which state will be formed once we heat a solid and reaching its melting stage? The stage we will convert, that one is called as liquid state. Further, if you heat the liquid state, what will happen? Further heating increases entropy of the liquid. Again due to enhanced motion, definitely the entropy of the liquid also increases, and up to boiling point if you do it, then large increase in the entropy as a result of liquid vapor. That means liquid will be converted to vapor state upon heating up to its boiling stage. So beyond that temperature, which temperature? Beyond boiling temperature, entropy of the gas continues to rise and increases we rise with the increase in the temperature. So this is most important thing to remember. In the case of study of entropy, entropy value increases as the temperature rises from absolute zero. Very, very simple point. What is that? Entropy value increases. Entropy value increases for a substance as the temperature rises from absolute zero. Absolute zero value. So this is our point under the discussion in this entropy. So today in the beginning we started with third law of thermodynamics, and we have taken a consideration, that is substance, a perfect crystalline substance at 0 Kelvin temperature. We have taken the what is the number of microstates we can get when it is said to be perfect crystalline solid or substance, and that we have noticed as 1 from the experiments, and that 1 we substituted in this equation S is equals to K into ln W, where K is Boltzmann constant, you all know, and this W value substituted as 1, ln 1 value is 0, then we got entropy value is 0. So that has become the statement of third law, that is entropy of a perfect crystalline substance is 0 at the absolute zero temperature. Okay. Not that one, we have start with the most important point in thermodynamics now. That is Gibbs free energy. Now we will talk about Gibbs free energy. Okay. What is that? Gibbs free energy. Gibbs free energy. Actually, determining the spontaneity of a thermodynamic process based on entropy and enthalpy values has become little difficult in some of the exceptional cases. That is why there is another thermodynamic function introduced here, that is called as Gibbs free energy symbol. The symbol is G. Change in the Gibbs free energy is delta G. So we will talk about that one. Before moving on to this one, the second law of thermodynamics, once we recollect the information from second law of thermodynamics, it tells us a spontaneous reaction. In a spontaneous reaction, what will happen? Entropy value increases for the universe. What is second law is telling? What is second law is telling? Second law is telling that the entropy change of the universe increasing for getting the spontaneous process. When the reaction is called as spontaneous process, then the delta S universe always should be greater than 0. When you put equal to, that is equilibrium condition. When you say it is greater than 0, then that is called as spontaneous reaction or process. Spontaneous reaction or process. So to determine this sign of this delta S universe for the reaction, we have calculated two things in this one. What are the things we have calculated? Delta S system and delta S surroundings. So these two things also we need to calculate. So to get this value, we have to calculate the delta S system, delta S surroundings. So in that particular case, what will happen? Usually we will concern with what is happening in a system. Therefore, another thermodynamic function is to help us to determine this one. Okay, spontaneous nature. If we consider only a system itself, okay, so take these two things in the mind, delta S system and delta S surroundings. If you take that one, we have taken an equation, we have prepared an equation in the last class for delta S universe, that is delta S universe is coming for the by the summing of delta S system and delta S surroundings, and this total has become greater than 0. After that, what we have considered here is this is we have taken this is equals to delta S universe. So this expression, you are familiar with this expression. In this expression, if you do little modifications if you do it, that is delta S surroundings value we have already brought, delta S surroundings value we have prepared, that is equals to delta H system by T. That is what we have derived in the last class, observed in the last class. If you put that one here, then it will become delta S system minus delta H system by T, which is greater than 0. After that, we can start doing some mathematical operation, that is multiplication, multiplying this equation, multiplying this entire equation, that is this is delta S universe. We don't want to keep t like this, then you can multiply this entire equation with the t. What will come, we'll see. T delta S universe will become equals to T delta S system. Okay, this will become minus delta H system plus T delta S system, that will come, which is greater than 0. Now we have a criteria for a spontaneous reaction that is expressed only in terms of the properties of delta H and delta S of the system. We can ignore the surroundings. That is why we have ignored the surroundings point. So here we are keeping system informations only in this one. So for convenience, what we are doing, we can change the preceding this equation by multiplying this entire equation with minus 1. When you multiply this entire equation with minus 1, what will come? Let us see. This will become minus T delta S universe, that is equals to delta H system minus T delta S system. Okay, this greater than will become less than 0 when you multiply with minus 1. This equation, when you multiply this with minus 1. Okay, and this equation saying that a process is carried out at constant temperature and pressure, enthalpy change and entropy change. Here enthalpy, delta H is enthalpy change and delta S is entropy change. Okay, that is delta H system minus T delta S system, which is less than 0, and that time the process must be spontaneous. Okay, this is the condition for spontaneous nature. Spontaneous, that means the system is spontaneous when delta H system minus T delta S system is less than 0. Okay, and this whatever we are showing here is regarding the spontaneous nature. If it is not less than 0, if it is 0, then we can find what is the temperature. Delta H is equals to T delta S. That condition we called as equilibrium condition. So in such a way, in order to express the spontaneity of the reaction more directly, we have introduced another thermodynamic function called as Gibbs free energy, G. The G is a symbol. Simply we will call this is also free energy. Free energy. Okay. And what is that Gibbs free energy introduced here is Gibbs free energy introduced after the study, that is G is equals to H minus Ts. Gibbs-Helmholtz equation, we will call this is Gibbs-Helmholtz equation. This all quantities of the system, temperature, here all can be substituted to get the answer. And coming to the units, what are the units of this energy? Yeah, he has units, energy, that may like that of the other values, both H and S. What are the units are there for H and S? The same units will be carried by this Gibbs free energy, that means energy which is required to do some work. So available energy available to do work is called as Gibbs free energy. Here H enthalpy, S is the entropy, Z is the Gibbs free energy, which is also comes under the state function category of thermodynamic property. So like this entropy, Gibbs free energy is also state function. And so many other contexts are there. We have the free energy is nothing but energy is available to do work. I will give the definition. What is this one? Energy available to do work. So the energy available to do work is very simple definition for Gibbs free energy. Usually in chemical reactions, what will say? Reaction is actually accompanied with the release of usable energy. Okay, in such cases Z is negative, delta Z is negative. Actually this value is only delta Z. So delta Z is nothing but minus T delta S, which is less than 0 for spontaneity. Less than 0 means delta Z is negative in that case. This fact alone guarantees that it is spontaneous. There is no need to worry about what happens to the rest of the universe. So what is the condition for spontaneity from this Gibbs free energy? The change in the Gibbs free energy value, if it is less than 0, that condition is called as, that process is called as spontaneous process. So now we got a very complete clarity, that is what is change in the Gibbs free energy value. Delta Z is equals to minus T delta S universe here. Okay, if it is equal to 0, definitely it is at equilibrium condition. If it is less than 0, spontaneous. If it is greater than 0, non-spontaneous. So these are the conditions once we will write here. So if the Gibbs free energy change value of a system which is given minus T delta S universe, it is, if this delta Z value is less than 0, then that process is called as spontaneous process. So it is negative. If the delta Z value is greater than 0, then that is called as non-spontaneous process, which is positive value. That means the reaction is non-spontaneous. The reaction is spontaneous in the opposite direction, we can call. Here G is less than, delta Z is less than 0, that time the reaction is spontaneous in the forward direction. And another condition we have, that is if the delta Z is equal to 0, then the system is at equilibrium, there is no net change in that process. The system is at equilibrium. Okay, these are the most important points under our discussion we made in the Gibbs free energy concept. Once I will give you the applications. Okay, the applications all will be given in the next session. Okay, so we will do the applications, that means what are the standard Gibbs free energy, standard free energy changes of a reaction, like the earlier we have done for the entropy and enthalpy. In the same manner, we can apply the delta Z formula for a chemical reaction. For general reaction, first we will do it after the chemical reaction, and based on that some problems also will be done in the next session. Next class we will do that one. Until, have a nice day. Thank you very much.